You ever wonder how top consultants can walk into basically any business, in any industry, and just see things? How they can pinpoint weaknesses with this incredible precision? Well, they've got a secret weapon. It's a metric that translates every single business activity, I mean everything, into one common language. It's called the Z-score. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly how to use it.
Okay, just think about this for a second. I was working with this company once, right? And the sales team was literally popping champagne, celebrating a record quarter because they hit 98% of their quota. Awesome. But at the exact same time, 2 floors down, the manufacturing team was pulling their hair out because their defect rate had crept up to 3%. Now, both teams were working their tails off, but who is actually performing better? It's impossible, right? It's like comparing apples and oranges.
But what if you could put them on the exact same scale? Well, you can. The answer is the Z-score. You got to think of it like a universal translator for business performance. It takes all those different dialects of success, sales quotas, defect rates, invoice errors, customer complaints, you name it, and it turns them into a single, crystal clear language of capability.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to start by really getting why this universal metric is so absolutely crucial. Then, we'll define the core concepts, Z-score and process capability. After that, we're going to get our hands a little dirty with the actual calculations, see it all in action with a real-world example, add a really important layer of nuance, and then finally, show you how to use this thing as a powerful new tool to transform your business.
All right, first up, let's understand the battlefield. Because in pretty much every company, there's this kind of silent war going on. It's a war of metrics, where every single department has its own definition of what winning looks like, making it nearly impossible for leaders to get a clear, honest picture of the whole organization. I mean, think about it. A missed sales quota, a faulty part on an assembly line, a tiny error in an invoice. These are all technically defects, but they're measured in completely different units, different contexts. It's like the Tower of Babel of business metrics. And it is a massive and often totally invisible problem for anyone trying to drive real, holistic improvement. So to break down that communication barrier, we need a new language. But don't worry, we're about to hand you the Rosetta Stone of business performance. To get there, we just need to define 3 key terms that all work together beautifully. Okay, first up, the Z-score itself. So imagine you're on a long road trip. The Z-score is like a special kind of milestone marker. It tells you exactly how far you are from the center of your lane. But here's the cool part. Instead of measuring in feet or inches, it uses this universal unit of measurement for variation called the standard deviation. It's just a standardized way to talk about distance from the average. Simple as that.
Next up, you've got your specification limits. Think of these as the guardrails on that highway. Now, what's really important is that you don't set these. Your customer does. Your customer defines how wide the road is. As long as your process stays between those guardrails, the upper and lower spec limits, you're golden. But the second you start drifting too close to one side, you are heading for trouble.
And that brings us to process capability, or CPK. CPK is like a snapshot from a drone flying over your car on that highway. It's amazing because it shows you not only where you are on the road, your position relative to the center, but also how much you're swerving side to side. So it captures both your accuracy and your consistency in one single powerful number.
And this is where the rubber meets the road, literally. A high Z-score means you're driving smoothly right down the middle of that highway, far, far away from the guardrails. You have very little swerving and a really low chance of an accident or, a defect. But a low Z-score? Man, that's like a flashing red light on your dashboard. It's a huge warning that you're swerving all over the road and you're about to have a very, very expensive breakdown.
Okay, I know what some of you might be thinking. Oh no, here comes the math. But I promise you, this is the good kind of math. It's the kind that makes things clear, the kind that helps you make way better decisions, and the kind that can make you a lot of money. So let's just peel back the curtain a little bit. Now, these formulas might look a little intimidating, but they're just asking really simple questions in the language of statistics. The Z-upper formula is just a fancy way of saying, hey, how much room do I have on the right side of the road before I smash into the guardrail? And the Z-lower formula asks the exact same thing for the left side. What we really care about is Z-min, the smaller of those 2 numbers, because that's our closest brush with danger.
And now for the CPK formula. Think of this as a stress test for your process. The top part of that equation is just the distance to your closest guardrail. That's our Z-min, right? The bottom part, 3 sigma, represents a standard chunk of your process variation. So the formula is simply asking, how many of my standard chunks of variation can I fit between myself and the nearest danger zone?
And this, right here, this is the aha moment of this entire explainer. This is the elegant, beautiful, and unbelievably powerful connection that ties it all together. Process capability, CPK, is simply your Z-min score, your distance to the nearest danger zone, divided by 3. That is it. The Z-score directly powers the entire capability calculation. It's that simple.
All right, enough with the theory. The real power of this stuff comes from seeing it in action. So let's make this tangible and see how it actually works in the real world with a quick example.
So, let's pretend we're making some kind of precision part. Our process averages a measurement of 10 units. The customer, the only voice that really matters, tells us that anything between 6 and 18 is acceptable. Those are guardrails. And we've measured our process swerve, our standard deviation, and it comes out to be 2 units. Okay, we have everything we need. Let's plug these in.
Okay, let's just walk through this nice and easy. Step 1, we check the upper side. 18 minus 10 is 8. We divide that by our swerve of 2, and that gives us a Z upper of 4. We've got plenty of room on this side, no problem. Step 2, the lower side. 10 minus 6 is 4. Divide that by 2, and we get a Z lower of 2. Uh-oh, see that? We're cutting it a little bit closer here. Step 3, we find our Z-min. This is our weakest link, which is clearly 2. And finally, step 4, we use our beautiful, simple formula. CPK is just Z-min divided by 3, which gives us a final CPK value of 0.667. Now, in the world of process improvement, let me be very clear. This is a failing grade. Any CPK below 1.0 means your process is not capable of meeting customer needs, period. This process isn't just a candidate for improvement, it is screaming for it. And now you've got the hard data to prove it.
Now, just when you think you've got it all figured out, there's a little twist. Because just like in investing, what a process is capable of in theory, in the short term, can be very, very different from how it actually performs in the messy real world over the long term. And this is the critical difference between CPK and PPK. Think of it this way. CPK is like your car's official fuel efficiency rating from the manufacturer. It's what you could get under perfect, ideal lab conditions. PPK, on the other hand, is your actual mileage after a year of driving. It's what you did get with all the real-world traffic jams, bad weather, hills, and, lead-footed driving included. One is potential, the other is reality. Both are useful, but you gotta know which one you're looking at.
Okay, let's bring this all home. We've defined the concepts, we've walked through the math, we've added that crucial layer of nuance, so now let's put it all together. We've given you the tools, now let's show you how to build something amazing with them. So why is this so much more than just another statistic? Well, because the Z-score gives you superpowers. Seriously, it gives you the X-ray vision to see the hidden problems and variations in your processes. It gives you the power of translation to speak a single common language of performance across your entire organization. And it gives you a time machine to objectively assess the before and after of any improvement project you decide to run. So, the most crucial takeaway is this. Z-score is not just a number. It's a new way of seeing your business. It is a management tool that takes the invisible enemy of variation and makes it visible. It takes complex, totally unrelated processes and makes them comparable. And it takes these vague, fuzzy problems and makes them truly, finally, actionable. So, I'll leave you with this question. Right now, what's the one thing in your business, in your world, that you've always wanted to improve but you never really knew how to measure? What's its Z-score? Because now that you have this lens, what will you choose to see?